if I completely flake on you this week. I tried. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I am DDO's community manager Cordovan, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour doing some Q&A, talking a bit about the latest news, of which there is some, including the start of Night Revels, when that's going to be, near future, when on Update 47, very near future, when on Feywild pre-purchase, very near future, and what else do we got? We got a lot going on. We just talked a little bit pre-show banter. Might not hurt to get that Lamania client updated too in the relatively near future. I also wanted to take a minute to just kind of explain what I'm going to do on for gameplay here, and I'll do that in just a second. So, before I do that, though, welcome everybody to the show. I appreciate you being here. Let me get rid of the beholder so you can see the game client I am working with. I'm on Argonesson today. I've been on Argonesson for a little bit. I think I'm going to stay on Argo for the coming weeks. And I could talk a little bit why I'm not going to do some server hopping and all that sort of thing too as well. But that's not really all that relevant, nor do people care that much, I don't think. So let's get to the more interesting stuff, shall we? Chat news, please, question mark, the Lannis chat, question mark, yes, that sucks. I appreciate your pain. I, too, am experiencing it, and have been for a little while now. Now, thankfully, in 2020, we use things like Discord, that sort of thing. You know, all these third team speak and Skype and Google Duo? I don't know. All sorts of things. Zoom. Anyway, so there are generally ways to get around non-functioning chat in DDO, which is based on some pretty old tech, as I think everyone is well aware. But it is generally functional tech until recently. And we have had to do quite a bit of work to try to figure out why people on, say, Thelanis and Wayfinder in particular, but also some subset of people on Thelanis and Wayfinder in particular, but also periodically others throughout the other game worlds, will have either delays in connecting to chat or simply be unable to connect to chat, and have been in that case in some cases for some time. I am happy to announce, I am very happy to announce that we made progress this week. This has been a little bit of a troublesome thorn in the side of just about everyone, I think, for a little while here, and I'm happy to report that we have made some progress. So hopefully that's going to end up being a yay, it worked, and then we will get that into the next available game build. So hopefully I've got good news in the near future for you on the Lannis chat. I at least have news on progress, but I don't have a solution yet for you. All right. When is Night Revels coming? Craig, hello, welcome everyone over on Twitch. Night Revels is coming tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to be launching Night Revels tomorrow. That would be October 8th, late morning Eastern time, and enabling Night Revels. I don't yet have our final date on it. I don't think we actually settled that yet. But I'm going to assume that we're looking at something like probably November 3rd. I think November 3rd is where we landed. Stay tuned on that. You know, this is just a chat between me and you. It's not like anyone is hearing this. So I think it's going to be through November 3rd. Stay tuned on the formal announcement, but it's going to start tomorrow. And I did make an announcement on the forums yesterday about that, but it's worth mentioning here today as well. Before I do that, though, one of the things that bothers me about my own show is that sometimes when I get too wrapped up in chat and Q&A, the what you're looking at gets a little on the dull side. So I wanted to just briefly kind of explain what I'm going to do while I do this chat, because it's got to be something I can kind of do passively while still using what little brain space I have to answering your questions professionally as best as I can. So this is an old character in Argo. And this character on Argo was created as an artificer back in 2011. I think it's 2011, right, when we first debuted Artificer, and is also one of the very first characters I ever reincarnated. Has not reincarnated much, just on the second life, that life being this fighter, and this fighter now being level 30. So I found myself in recent weeks, the last 2 weeks on the live stream, encountering a couple of significant issues that I wanted to sort of give you a sense of what I was working on while I'm doing this chat about Night Revels and other things. So, I'm going to be going over my gear, and you'll see that it's a mix. What am I currently wearing at endgame? And I would love to get some feedback from you in chat about what... I mean, I know the answer is going to be a lot, because I haven't run... This character has not really kept up with most questing for about 5 years now, other than its periodic appearance in the live stream, which is, what, a couple weeks every couple of months, right? So, not much, in other words. But I'll give you a sense of where I am, where I want to be, and I could talk a little bit about a couple of the solutions I've solved. The first week's solution was to finally deal with things like putting in, slotting my twists of fate, making sure I'm in the right destiny, etc., etc. I had to completely redo my enhancements because they had gotten respect at some point. So that was the problem with week one, is I literally just rolled into the character, not realizing just how much work had to be done with it. And then for week two, last week's show, I ran into an issue without having Ghost Touch, trying to run Ravenloft. And that is mostly what I'm going to be running here in October, is Ravenloft, because I want to... It's because it's spooky. It's October. Come on, man. I'll also probably be running Night Revels. But I'm going to be running Ravenloft, and I want to do that all on Argo here, and I want to do that all on this character here, so that I, one, finally get flagged for the raid. 2, finally get a sentient gem. 3, finally get some updated gear and get this character in a better position. So that is why I'm going to be on Argonescent for the foreseeable future. Also, I'm not giving away DDO points anymore, so it doesn't... I feel less attached to a stringent schedule of rotating between worlds. Okay, so all that said, before I get to Night Revels, I'm going to be going through my gear here, and you'll see where the character is mildly developed, say, circa 2015, but is still a long ways to go, and I'll show you a few things I've done to kind of deal with that. All right. Those inventory bags, though. Yeah, what can I say? I do that. I don't know why I do that. I always do that. I just do that. It's just how I am. And I'm not seeing any chat on YouTube, so I'm sorry, YouTubers. I tried. It looks like I have to deal with my connection through YouTube and XSplit, and I'll have to work on that next week. Alright, so before I completely change and move on to the topic, let me see if there's anything else I need. I can answer a couple of these other questions too while I'm doing that. Okay, so here's the deal with Night Revels. Night Revels is going to be debuting on Thursday of this week, and be running, I think, through November 3rd, and will not be new this year. It's the same as it was in 2019. Reason for that is we simply ran out of time to do the work that we wanted to do to give it an update this year, if we wanted to get it out in any kind of reasonable time frame for the holiday, which we did. Also, we know that Night Revels recently got some fairly significant itemization updates, so it's not like it hasn't had anything new in recent years, right? So there may well be at least 1 year's worth of stuff that a bunch of people could go back and get that they just never had an opportunity, or maybe didn't fit for the character at that time but does now, etc., etc. So we wanted to run Night Revels regardless of our ability to bring in new stuff for it. So we ended up being in a place... Also, hello. Better move that just in case. Okay, here we go. So anyway, you can see I've got some old Supreme Thailand green steel, and the reason I still have that on is because I want that greater elemental energy. It doesn't hurt to have the exceptional dex, doesn't hurt to have Trap the Soul, doesn't hurt to have the exceptional bonus to jump and swim, etc., etc. Not the greatest thing I could be wearing in 2020, but whatever, it still works, and it still is generally the best thing I want to put in my goggle slot at the moment. So, that's why that is what that is. So, on Night Revels, then, we knew that we wanted to bring it back, and regardless of our ability to update it. And so we decided to do one thing different this year, because we had an opportunity to not deprecate the stuff. We hadn't done it until this point. Remember, we try to deprecate the Night Revels stuff. Theoretically, if we were good about it, we'd probably make people the least happy possible, and that is we would deprecate those ingredients as soon as Night Revels is over. But we tend not to do that. Instead, we tend to do it generally sometime before the next Night Revels, unless we forget, like this year, which ended up being a good thing, because that gave us an opportunity to bring back Night Revels this year, despite not having anything new, also being able to bring it back so that none of your stuff is now unusable. All of last year's ingredients that you collected for Night Revels will be functional in this year's Night Revels. They may show as deprecated in the shared bank, because just about any Night Revel ingredient that goes into the shared bank will show as rotten until pulled back from your inventory, at which point it sorts correctly whether it's deprecated or not. So, pull that stuff from your bank. Good chance if you have leftovers from last year, you're going to be able to use them again this year. Get you a little bit of a heads up. Maybe it's a little bit of a less interesting year for you right now because of the fact that there's may not be anything new per se. But it's going to be an opportunity that you'll have starting tomorrow. Also, we wanted to do one thing, and we had to make a decision this week if not doing that one thing would prevent us from going live with Night Revels. And here is the one thing. No, not the In Excess song. The one thing is that we wanted to swap out last year's dungeons with one of the other dungeons that didn't debut last year, because why not? And so we didn't get the chance to do that yet, and that work is in Update 47, but Update 47 isn't released yet, and that's a whole other can of worms that we're going to, I guess, get into in the near future. But, so we were like, well, can we just swap the dungeon out, say 1 week into Night Revels, so that one of the dungeons from last year becomes a dungeon from 2 years ago or something like that? It'll still be the same ingredients, and ultimately we decided that was not going to stop us from going live with Night Revels this Thursday. So, that too is something a little bit different this year. The main reason I have the planar focus of prowess is because of the insightful strength at this point. I could ditch that, but until I have something better, it doesn't hurt to have that insightful strength. The reason I have that is because of the accuracy bonus right now. It doesn't hurt on my character. Wisdom never hurts because it'll give you a little boost to a couple saves. The reason I have on this in my head slot is right now, this is my main source of fortification. And I know that it's not where it needs to be. My fort is currently 235. Okay, and on the cloak slot here is something I was going to quick mention. So the cloak slot is obviously really important to me. I've got the Legendary Mantle of Fury, Con 19, I mean, come on, man. Also, 22% double strike, which is obviously critical to this fighter build, and dodge 19%, despite being capped to whatever it is, doesn't hurt. And also the Mythic Cloak +3 doesn't hurt either. I currently have slotted in a natural armor augment, although I really should swap that out because I'm not seeing any benefit from it. I'm already getting that 8 from a different source. Right now, clearly this is something that I need to deal with, but this is my strength item. It's only +8. I can need to jack that up to whatever it is. 19, is that our max? So easily double my strength bonus from there. But I also have this slotted right now just because of the balance doesn't hurt. Helps the fighter get up a little bit more quickly when you're knocked down. On my ring slot, I currently just have a deadly in there, and that's where I'm getting the natural armor from. 1 AC is not going to kill me if I get rid of that, but right now, it doesn't hurt to have the deadly 8 in there because it just does a small amount of additional damage. I am currently using my glove slot for my feather falling and that hit point, that enhancement bonus to hit points, which, let me show you here real quick. Well, I guess let me find out if that's true, but I believe that is true still, that it does stack with that green steel helmet. So, yeah, there we go. So it does stack with that green steel. So that's the state of my con bonuses at this point. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is last week I ran into an issue where I couldn't get through incorporeality very well. And I'm in Ravenloft where you need it a lot. And I just was not prepared. So I realized what my problem was. Prior to this point, I had been using the min-level 24 version of the Cloak of Night. Mostly for that ghostly effect. Deathblock doesn't hurt. And the dodge up to that point didn't hurt, although clearly I have a higher version of dodge for that now. As soon as I got the Legendary Mantle of Fury, it was clear that that Cloak of Night had to go, but that Cloak of Night is what's providing my incorporeality. And I just went through the auction house prior to going live today with no results. Remember, I can't use the Shard Exchange, only the Plat auction house. There's nothing in the DDO store, as we determined last week, that it would help me out there. Although I did pick up a couple of rubies, a ruby and a diamond from the store quick, just to fill out my gear a bit. And so my own gear set only had this and one other source of the ethereal gloves. But those were even worse off than the Cloak of Night in terms of what would make sense for me to wear at this point. So, in the dungeon here today, when I need to, I'm going to have to put on that Cloak of Night if I really need Ghost Touch. And until that happens, when I do that, I'm going to lose a lot of con, because that's my con bonus of 19. So that could even kill me if I don't watch my hit points at the time I do it. So that's how much that sucks. But right now, that's, I think, the only real opportunity, the only real solution I've got prior to going live today. On the boot slot, I've got the Epic Boots of the Innocent. I've got that for a whole bunch of reasons. That resistance, that speed. At the stunning doesn't really help too much, although it helps a little bit with some of the Vanguard stuff that I'm working on. But generally not. The Greater Heroism doesn't hurt, and I've not upgraded it. So, but still, it's a pretty good set of boots for this character. I only have this on because of the Insightful Con right now. As soon as I get some kind of better Insightful Con, that's going to go. And then you can see Con 10 I'm getting from this. At the moment, you know, that was what I had at level 28 before I got the mantle, right? So that's the best I had at that time. And I still have this slotted because of that Seeker 9. It's, as a fighter, doesn't hurt. I don't have it in another piece of gear, I don't think, right? And then for my armor right now, I'm just using the Null Scale. Mostly because of the physical sheltering. Actually, you know what? Fort is where I'm getting that from, now that I look at it. So, if I'm getting that fort from there, then I can ditch. I've got an open head slot here, so that's kind of nice. Okay, cool. So I can deal with that in the near future then. At the very least, I should be able to do that. Alright, I'm going to be heading over to Ravenloft and kind of running quests solo, where I can work at my own pace without pressure of having to deal with people in a group, and because I want to, because no reason, because I want to. It seems like the thing to do here while I'm going through chat. Okay, so back to chat, Facebook. Someone is saying we should more fully incorporate Gary Gygax into the Night Revels event, and I would love to see something like that happen if we could do it respectfully, of course. But I would love to see something maybe kind of like that. That sounds pretty cool. News on pre-orders. Well, I can have a little more info on that as I also talk about the state of Update 47. So, I am not just a liar, but I am a liar twice. Last week on the show, I had... Where am I going? Last week on the show, I had suggested that maybe Update 47 this week, and that didn't happen. So once again, I am in a position of, unfortunately, having to come to you and say I was wrong. At the time that I made the statement, that was the goal, that was the hope. Something came up, and we're not in a position to release update 47 this week. However, odds are pretty good that we'll be in a position to release it in the very near future. Perhaps as soon as very near future. And so that'll be update 47. And update 47 has the new raids and all that sort of thing. It also has a bunch of stuff that you've been seeing on Lamania related to the Clear Feywild pre-purchase effort that will be happening prior to the release of update... whatever update we're in now. What update are we in at? 48. 48 for the Feywild expansion. So typically we release an update and then do a pre-purchase effort and then release the expansion. I would say update 47 is coming soon, and we are still on track to release the expansion before the end of the year. Perhaps you can read between the lines there a little bit and come to the conclusion that we've got the Feywild pre-purchase campaign happening also in the very near future. So, should be cool. And we'll have a lot more to talk about related to that in the near future. Game companies define near future as somewhere in the range of the next 12 months. Sometimes you're not wrong. Yeah, you might be correct. But no, this will be much sooner than that. Much sooner. I can tell you that game companies do that. It's because that's how the calendar blends together, and typically in a lot of game development scenarios, right? You're working as much as 8 to 9 months ahead, but also next week at the same time, and it's just sort of the way it rolls, right? Did I get the free sentient from the guy that gave you the Morning Lord's sword? No. Because I was a fool back in the day. A fool! And did not do that. Unfortunately. I made a wrong choice at the time that I did that way initially. So, I need to get a sentient gem. And I haven't had other opportunities because I haven't really played this character. That's why I didn't redeem the dragon one this year on this. That's why I didn't get the kobold from Crystal Cove, etc., etc. As I picked up one from White Plume, any of that kind of stuff. I need Ruby of Ghostbane. That would definitely be a good solution there. I can get Strength 22 is the current max, available on a couple of artifacts. I don't know that there is a lot of likelihood this character will be picking up a lot of artifacts. You know, this isn't going to be a main character. I just want to bring him into 2020 a little bit, which is part of the reason also I want to just kind of run this character for a little bit here so I can start doing some of that stuff. I'm going to give myself a little extra firepower. Just in aggro management, just in case. Also, I waited to do daily dice for y'all. Yeah, no luck today. I'll take it. It's fine. Okay. The Anarchist. That should be okay. I should be able to find my way there. Keep in mind, I may get lost. I still get lost in Castle Ravenloft. That should be okay. I mostly know how to get to the chapel. It's a little confusing, but I got that. And then the miss, we'll just have to figure out.
Madam Eva's words echo in your mind.
Okay.
An artifact, a trap, a
Hardcore server is done. Our after party has been released. Also, the hardcore leaderboards have been released on DDO.com if you've not seen that yet. Sorry, I need to get Garrett up so that he can cast a Hajil on me. Okay, so we're just going here. Let me see. Yeah, right now, Growler, we would have to create some kind of NPC and placement of that NPC were we to add additional Night Revels dungeons to the list that were offered, which frankly is not a small amount of work. And if we had the available resources to do that amount of work, then we'd probably prefer to do some other things with Night Revels, if you know what I mean, in terms of perhaps updating it. So that's the why on that one.
Strahd's laughter echoes across the hall, and his form dissolves into mist. The door.
Like here, I am going to need to have my armor that I just said, and then thus take a hit to my con. But that's the breaks. Right now, until I agree though, getting a Ghost Touch augment would make a ton of sense for this particular character, and especially with Night Revels coming up in the future, that is the likely way I should be doing this. I think I also need to pick up some more of these potions from the store. I don't think I can entrust Garrett to keep me alive here for the rest of this dungeon. Come on. There we are. Ah, here we are not yet. Ah, yeah. Oh, Garrett's dead. That's what happened to Garrett. Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. Crap. What should I do? Do I have a thing to get Garrett back up? Let me do the... Alright, I do. Alright. Yay. No, don't die again, Garrett. Oh, no! Well, it's fine. It'll bring me and the hireling up. Oh, you shall avenge me, huh? Yeah, we'll see, buddy. We'll see. Oops. That didn't work. I thought it would bring him up, too. I have a second. I do. I am taking a risk trusting Garrett. Yep. So glad they fixed the hirelings. Thanks. I mean, you know, Garrett does his best. Come on. Let's not pile on the poor fellow. Let me just think how much work this person is asked to do on a daily basis. More work than you, I can tell you that much. Oh no, and he's down again. Yeah, I should probably park him. But see, that's a me problem, not a Garrett problem. Alright, so, Garrett, I'm going to bring you over here, and I'm going to park you, and then I am going to get over here, so that I am not causing you to get hit by this Shadow of Hate. still getting incorporeal bypass? Oh, it must be from the higher levels. Okay. Well, at least I know I need to keep doing it. Is there a possibility of putting a banker in the tavern for Crystal Cove? The reason I'm not sure on that is it depends how that tavern works in terms of its similarity to a general public space or a private, kind of more dungeon instance. I'm not sure. That would be a question for the content team, really. They would be able to answer that. My guess is there is a reason there is not the ability to access the bank in the tavern from the Crystal Cove instance. But I don't know that for sure, so I would just have to follow up. What level tune is this? This is level, like I say, it's a level 30 character. But it's an level 30 character that is in a pretty early state of development because they hadn't been played in quite some time. So every week I've been making a few little improvements. This week I figured out a temporary solution to my Ghost Touch problem. And we'll see this character hopefully grow and develop a little bit as I start picking up better gear and such from Ravenloft. Epic Ethereal Bracers, yeah, that would be another pretty good choice. Do other elemental powers have death animations similar to the cold death animations? No. Some do. But not all of them. But I think most of them kind of do, yeah. They're not as dramatic, though, typically, as that cold one. Sorry, I'm just going through chat here. Have I mentioned anything about Feywild? Yeah, a little bit. We're going to have more info on our Feywild, say, pre-purchase and that, in the relatively near future. It should be pretty soon. I think we'll also end up being pretty close to doing a Lamania preview as well. Probably not next week, but we'll see. It's going to be a little longer than that. I need an alchemist in there. That wouldn't hurt. Hints on new augments. No. What hints have been provided, I'm going to leave provided by Linabil, I believe, at this point, along with what you have seen from Lamania. Will there be a triple points this Thanksgiving or Christmas? That one, I can tell you, is going to be a no. There will not be. Triple points is something that was offered a very long time ago and is unlikely to be returning in the future. And we've stated that at least a couple of times. But it's true. I wouldn't be holding out for that anytime soon. Can we get colored footprints for mounts like the pet companions? Theoretically. Theoretically. When will bards get some much needed love? Oh. Bards got some work relative, I mean, not that long ago, right? Because of all the consolidation of, say, the bard buffs that happened there was some other kind of bard work related to that. There's a couple of minor swashbuckler notes in update 47 that I've seen, but not too many. But we have certainly worked on bards, I think, more so than perhaps some other classes that people would like us to work on. So I don't know. Not sure on that one there. If you're having an issue with the store window not displaying for Nivmund, one thing to if I gave you a DDO point for every time I said that, okay, the first thing I would do is check the external store, see if you can open it up in an external browser. I would also check your, say, Chrome extensions or something like that to see if any of that might be contributing. To your issue. Otherwise, I would... Well, hopefully one of those two will take care of it. Will we get to see a unicorn preview? Yes. If it was working literally up until like 4 days ago, then assuming you haven't, like, say, downloaded some new Chrome extension or Firefox extension or something like that that could be causing an issue. Technical support could maybe help. I'm tempted to say it wouldn't hurt. I'm not sure how to advise you to do it, but if you could somehow check, like, your Windows user access control, see if that... Gosh darn it. Garrett, you're not being real useful, man. Alright. Also, why is this showing as immune all the time? What's going on? Do that again, put you on park, grab the aggro. Figure out why I'm not doing much damage. What's all that green stuff? I don't like it. Would I wear a unicorn onesie when the expansion is released? No. I would not. Okay, this is not working very well. What do I need to do? It's a me problem. Why is this a me problem? Okay. Why am I doing such puny damage? You know, I don't even think I need to worry about these guys, to be honest. I think I'm just going back up the stairs anyway. So let me just do that instead. Not even if we donate to charity for it. Not even if you donate to charity for it. I'm sorry. So there was 1 year. I just nope. I don't do stunts. I don't do stunts. Good point though in bringing that up. The other piece I would mention is we have got Extra Life actually happening in the real near future, and a little bit of exciting news to go along with it. So that should be happening in the coming days as well. I'll have a little bit more info on Extra Life this year. We don't have anything new to give away for DDO this year. At least not that I can think of yet. Still got a 24 or so hours to figure that bit out. But it should be a pretty fun year for Extra Life. So stay tuned for that as well. No, you did not, Druids. You did not break the charity. You did not break the, how'd you call it? Oh, you broke that charity stunt thing for everyone. No, you were the exception to my charity stunt, no charity stunt thing rule. And while I had a good time with it and enjoyed it and thought it was really neat, it also kind of underscored why I don't really like to do charity stunts. I don't like to put myself under a spotlight like that. It just doesn't make me comfortable. Did I really forget Garrett? I think what am I even gonna do here? I'm gonna ditch Garrett. I can't. No, why can I not ditch Garrett? I don't know. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do here? I think I'm going to actually roll this again. This is just not working. So I'm gonna go in on normal. Those are some low numbers for level 30. This is not right. So I can do better. I will do better. Apparently next show, since I've talked for almost an hour here while putzing around on Ravenloft. But we have a lot to talk about, do we not? Right? What have I caught? There's a couple of little pieces here. I can mention that our bonus this weekend is going to be a 25% Caneth Crafting XP boost. In addition, we are going to be having a 5% VIP XP boost. So if you're VIP, that's cool. I also would let people know that if you have been one of those people requesting a return of the Wish of Inheritance, which is an item that allows you to give one of your named items that otherwise wouldn't be possible to give due to its binding status to another one of your alts. It's an item you can get in the store that lets you do that. It's kind of a one-time trade to an alt. That's going to be coming out in the near future again. So, if you've been one of those folks saying, bring back the Wish of Inheritance, PLZ, exclamations, that is some news that you will want to keep an eye out for in the very near future. I was pointing the sword the wrong way. Nice. Da-dum-dum-dum. What am I doing? I was doing cold damage. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what was causing that, huh? Alright. You know, honestly, I think I'm just going to wrap up the show a little bit early here, as long as I go through all the news, because I'm not going to start this dungeon at 12:53, wrap the show up in 10 minutes. So, I guess that'll just kind of have to be that. What else do we got, though? I talked about a ton of stuff here. I guess that's about it. Stay tuned for news on Extra Life Update 47 and the Feywild pre-purchase campaign. We're also within probably a few weeks-ish of doing a preview on Lamania, so that should be cool. Oh, do the Explorer area for 10 minutes. That sounds like a great idea. I like this idea. Although, I still need to... I'm gonna get some potions so I can actually keep myself alive. There we go. You know, I'm actually going to, I think... I've got a couple thoughts as to what I might want to do, but we'll see. Poor cuckoo clock. Yeah, it's just... So the thing about the cuckoo clock is it's not... Well, one, it's like at least 60 years old. But for two... It's an old mechanical clock, so it's affected by heat and humidity, weather conditions, expansion and contraction of the wood. So if you kind of have to babysit it a bit if you really want it to tell an accurate time, but I tend to once every couple of weeks just sort of reset it back to what it should be and then just roll with it, so... A 24-hour stream. We may end up doing a long marathon stream, but I can tell you for certain that I will not be doing a 24-hour stream personally. I don't like 24-hour streams very much. I mean, I don't want to be a curmudgeon, but I don't think they're very healthy, and I don't think they're a very good idea in general. So I tend to... Since I am, after all, the community manager for Standing Stone Games, I tend to prefer that I not suggest people put their bodies and minds through that on my watch. Is the cuckoo clock made in Germany? It is, actually. It's so I don't, I'm no antiques expert, although I do a lot of flea markets and thrift stores and that. My belief on this clock is that it is approximately 1960s, probably early 1960s, and that, let's just see. Oh. Yay! I thought I'd already picked that up. Fantastic news. Well, I guess I know what my homework is for next week then, don't I? Get that sentient jewel leveled up and that sort of thing. So do I want inquisitive, resolute, or hopeful? I'm pretty sure I do not want inquisitive. Nothing personal, but I'm a little less of a fan. I actually have the hopeful, tends to be the one I do on most, so maybe I should pick the resolute this time, just because I don't think I currently have the resolute going on any of my characters. So, a sweet. Will we be able to play Shifter later in Update 47 or have to wait until 48? Stay tuned. We will have a lot more information about your opportunity to play Shifter in the near future. All right, slot that bad boy and use that sentient XP gem. Yeah, I know. I've got some nice stuff. Look at this. Check this out. Check this out. So I've sorted through my named item list on Argo and stuff, and I got all this to crunch down for homework, along with those nice sentient XP gems, because I haven't used them on Argo because I've not really had a character that could benefit yet. So I'm in pretty sweet position once I finally get a sentient gem to slot, and I'm going to slot it just into my basic Morning Lord Bastard Sword. I'm currently a Bastard Sword wielder. So I guess I could round out my gear look here with, I am currently using that for my main weapon. And then I don't have a good shield yet either. I don't think I took Tower Shield Proficiency. I guess I should have looked. Oh, I do have Tower Shield. Okay, so I need to get myself a good Tower Shield then, too. That's also on my gear list. I would mention I've got the Quiver of